off! Gentle, please. Okay. Can you get it around? Well, she had a little bit of a hard go yesterday, but overall she's still pretty good. Yes, twist, yep. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Okay, pull ahead just a bit. Try it again. Okay, hold that. Drive ahead. Well guys, here's the aftermath for Project Heart Attack. I guess you can say I drove a little hard again. I had a little bit too much fun in my heat, laying down some big hits. They were taking top 5, so as soon as top 5 was announced, all the cars stopped, and I thought I had first. So I didn't want to put my hands up for number 2, and some other guy didn't want to put his hands up for number 2. So me and my friend named Jim ended up fighting it out for first place, and unfortunately my car kind of caught fire in the heat in the front end. The rad punctured a transmission cooler line, and my gas tank strap actually broke, and my gas tank flew over my gas tank protector in behind it inside the trunk, so that's why I threw my hands out the window to say I was done. But we did a little bit in the pits. We were able to get the hood pulled off, and we got the rad out, and we did our rad loop kit, and we were able to make it to the finals. And I blew an axle, completely lost the axle, broke a tie rod, bent a strut, so this passenger side did get picked on quite a bit. If you notice, pretty much everything is gone down here to the point where it's going to be a lot to fix it. That's basically where it's at. And then we come to here. You can see a lot of damage done to the passenger side. The Honda Civic battery actually worked out very well, and there was still quite a bit of space between the door and my battery, so I'm happy about that. Back of the car, I did not really use the back of the car very much at all. In the heat, I was trying to only use the front, and realistically, I should have started using the back a lot earlier. In the feature, I tried to use the back a little bit more. When I broke the tie rod, I kind of was forced to use the front or the sides of the car. But even using the back as little as I did, the speaker deck still blew out of the car. Actually, on both sides. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out a better way to keep these speaker decks inside the car. Frame did do what I planned for it to do. As you see at the dimples, the frame did bend up, and then at the threaded rod it went down. So the frame kind of like accordioned in and came in flush. Both frame rails went up together. Now, just so you guys know, there was zero pre-bending on the back of this car. There was no notching. All it was a couple small dimples. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the back of this car. I think that I've got these Camry back ends pretty much dialed in now, to the point where I'm not really too worried about them kind of going sporadic. The wagons is going to be a different story, but these sedans I've got a handle on. I find these back ends of these cars very predictable and very easy to do what I want to accomplish with them, which is curl up, in, and out of the way. And I actually am enjoying leaving these rear Toyota bumpers on, because if you see, it actually jams into the quarter panels and keeps the car coming in evenly together. This one did go a little wonky because the trunk was so high, it kind of missed everything, and it's just basically like an extra piece of steel above and beyond the rear bumper. Now, how I would get away from this happening regularly is I would dish the trunk. Sort of like how this one is dished, but because I was not allowed to do that, this one here basically didn't go in as well as it should have. So I think dishing the trunk on these Toyota Camrys actually does a lot to help pack it in tighter, better, and faster. Now, the driver's side didn't really get damaged too bad. I did take one or two door shots, but let's face it, guys, we're in a demolition derby. Door shots are going to happen. I take them. As soon as I take a door shot, I stick my thumb out the window in the thumbs up position to tell the track officials and to tell the driver that hit me that I'm okay. If you guys ever watch my in-cars, I usually throw the thumbs up as soon as I get hit in the driver door, just as a sign to show the other driver that I'm okay and to let them know that I know that it happened and whatever. Driver door shots happen. If you think it doesn't, you're wrong. The door wraps actually held up pretty good. It was a very cold day, maybe 2 or 3 degrees outside, and I really thought that these would crack a lot more, but realistically, even with the cold weather and the amount that these bent, they actually held on there really, really good. I'm going to try to hose this off to see how they still look, maybe once the weather gets a little nicer, I'm not worried about my garden hose freezing, but realistically, they actually held on really good. Quite impressed, actually. As you can see, like the enforcement doors in the factory there, the inside door bars, those are basically the only steel that didn't bend, and you can see the wrap kind of rubbed off of it, but other than that, that's still on there, and you can clearly visibly see that it's a design underneath there. Coming to the hood, I tried to get the threaded rod off, but then when I closed it before the video, I broke the hood off, so there you go. Now underneath the hood, like I said, we lost the rad in the heat. So I pulled my 24mm impact socket trick where I just looped the lines with that. And it holds for about 5 minutes. But this is where things kind of get a little wonky. The bumper choice was not the best bumper choice. I took a risk trying this 2008 Uplander or Outlander. It's like a Chevy minivan kind of thing. The rear bumper. I kind of took a risk on it, and it really did not pay off. Bumper went to crap pretty fast. As you can see, it actually split the bumper in a couple different spots here. And a weak bumper on tough frame rails is not a good thing. I think I can fix this. I'm not 100% sure if I can. I'm going to try to pull these frame rails closer because as you can see, let me just step on this hood. This frame rail is actually bent out again. So this is what happened to my wagon. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to try to pull this driver's side frame rail in a bit and then put a better bumper on to hold these frame rails together. I highly doubt that we're going to be able to put a rad back inside this thing. So the bottom rad support's probably going to be cut out. I'm going to have to cut off the bumper, maybe cut even in a little bit into the frame to be able to do anything. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I haven't learned how to drive reasonable, and it's kind of a shame because these Camrys are very, very tough cars. Like, they're one of the only mini cars that I've found that stock will hold up to how I drive inside the ring. And they're just expensive, and if I'm wasting a Camry every demolition derby, it's not really a great thing. But for you that don't know, I actually did walk away with a trophy. I got second in my heat, which did not get me a trophy, but in the finals, I actually did get third, which got me a trophy. So this is actually my first Edge Motorsports, actually Edge Entertainment Group trophy. And it's actually my first trophy from Gravenhurst. And I've never got a trophy from Edge before, so it'd be nice to add that to my collection. But this is definitely a learning experience. My harness did work pretty good on this motor. A little bit of issue still, I think, on throttle response, but I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm going to try to fix this thing up. I'm probably just going to try to get this front passenger side fixed so I can drive it out of the shop and then I'm just going to let it sit for a bit. I want to get that Firebird into the shop and get working on it. So I'm thinking an axle and a tie rod, and basically just get it out of the shop to get the Firebird into the shop, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting pretty tired of working on Toyota Camrys. I'd like to try another rear-wheel drive Mini, because nothing brings back the feel of an actual derby car spinning that back end around like a welded rear diff. But you know what, we didn't really lose too much. The alternator belt's still in place, the alternator's still charging, everything's running great, car still runs great. I was a little hard on the transmission near the end of the finals. I was just red line drive to reverse trying to get out of my sunken in hole. But I was happy to do a good demolition derby and have fun and be out there with a couple friends. But derby started for 2018, guys, so let me know what you think about this Toyota Camry. And what do you think I should do to these front frame rails to get them fixed for the next demolition derby? So thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.